everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Irish and Young. We're in the mid-July. It's warming up. Hey, it's summertime, and it's hot, and I have a great guest tonight to match the heat. But before we get to her, I got to read these amazing underwriters, and we will commence per usual. So, we got a new one, the Voyage Irish Pub and Restaurant in the Marshfield section of Humrock, or the Humrock section of Marshfield, whichever you prefer. We got Vape Solutions in East Bridgewater. We got Craft Barbering Company in Pembroke. We got Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We got Crazy Axis Recreation Center in Hanover. We got Ocean Street Auto Repair Service Incorporated in Marshfield. We got Alice Cabinet and Millwork in Pembroke. They're a new one. We got New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We got Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We got Ocean Bluff Automotive in Marshfield. We got the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair in Whitman, home of the fully certified used car. We got Fiesta Char, a family Mexican restaurant right down the road here in Carver. We got Smoke and Ashes Tobacco Shops in Whitman, Hanson, Weymouth, Pembroke, and Abington. We got Abington Whitman News Corporate Office. There's the number. We got the Main Ingredient, Just Good Food in Middleborough. We got DNS Auto Works in Abington. We got the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights. I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, I will introduce this lovely young lady with the Ariana Grande hair color. This is Jamie Lee Simmons. She's a comedian. I just found out she was a truck driver. I didn't even know that.
I just meant I swear a lot.
Oh, just
I'm not actually a truck driver.
Okay, well then that's good. That was kind of a nice little obscurity. We'll take it. It makes the show more interesting. I was going to ask you about that anyway, but you took care of that problem. But first of all, Jamie, so after that having been said, and I say that a lot, that's not even a cliche anymore, I want to thank you for coming in and being on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
You've been trying to get you on for a while, and from what I understand, you're not going to be in the area much longer. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm moving to Miami. September 1st.
Okay. Well, by that time, people all over little Havana are going to know you from this show.
Really?
And wherever else. Sure, why not? All right, Jamie. So let's talk about, you're a comedian. No, you do
Yes.
You do stand-up comedy, and I assume you've entertained at a lot of clubs in the area, the Boston area or in the vicinity.
I lived in New Hampshire when I got started.
Okay.
I got started in July 2019, so I was really only doing it for 8 months before the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So I did like a comedy festival at the Middle East. I did some
Middle
shows.
East, that's in Cambridge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wasn't doing any like the clubs. I just had my first Boston club show at Nick's Comedy Stop
That's a
on
great
Saturday.
one. Yep, cool. Congratulations.
So that was great.
Well, that's great. Coming off of that to do my show, that's wonderful. I always spiral people up to even a better pinnacle. That's what I take pride in doing. All right, well now what I do with every guest is I try to profile them and find out what they were like as kids, and you don't look too old now. You only look like a 20-something, if I'm right, give or take.
26. I'm 27. Wow.
Well, okay. Okay, I got it right. So what I always do is I try to find out what my guests were like as little kids and how they got to where they're at. What did they aspire to? What did they do that was interesting? And then we move along and bring it to the present day and then look toward the future. So let's talk about that. Where did you grow up? What did you do as a kid? What were your goals and aspirations? What did you aspire to? Like I said, what was your most dominating trait and all that? And if I have any questions to intersperse, I'll roll them in. So go ahead.
I grew up in Hull, Mass.
Great town.
Love
on the
Hull.
water, I guess, right?
Yeah, on the water. I was like a minute.
Probably spent a lot of time at Paragon Park was probably gone by the time you were born, because I remember when I was a kid that was there.
My mom used to go there all the time.
Yep.
They still have the carousel there, so I used to manage and work at an ice cream shop that funds the carousel still.
Okay.
As a kid, I always wanted to be famous. I wanted to be a singer or like a dancer.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to be on stage.
All right.
And I wanted to do that. So I wanted to be famous so that I could make an impact and help people.
Okay.
But despite wanting to be famous, I was very shy.
All right.
I was not a good public speaker. I was not good on stage. Like that stuff scared the
crap out of you. I got it. Okay, no problem.
It wasn't really until I think high school and college, and even after college was when I really stepped into my confidence.
Okay, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. First of all, where did you go to high school? Where did you go to college?
I went to Hull High, and then I went to the University of Vermont.
Okay, why did you pick Vermont? That's kind of like out of the way, just to maybe figure you could lose your shy bug in the mountains.
No, I actually.
Or did you have something up there that you had that you?
I hate the winter. I hate the cold. I grew up in a very poor family.
Oh, wow.
And I applied to 17 colleges on my own, did all my FAFSA by myself.
Okay.
And UVM gave me the biggest scholarship. So
wow.
I was basically I got a free ride basically to go there, and
No
so that
kidding.
was the only way that I was going to be able to go to school. So I didn't really have an option.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
what did you major in up there? Did you or did you? Or just liberal arts or something else?
I was gonna do pre-vet.
Okay.
I started out as that in biology because my goal was to be like the next Steve Irwin. I've had a lot of aspirations.
Okay.
And then money played a factor, and I switched majors to business. I figured business would be the thing that I could carry anywhere
Yep.
with what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I minored in computer science. So I
Cool.
focused on marketing and computer science.
All right. So you basically were, you're trying to get yourself on the fast track to making a pretty good living somehow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I knew I couldn't afford vet school. I was kind of seeing like the reality of all of it, and
Yeah.
so I was like, what can I graduate with that will help me make money?
Right.
So most of my childhood was focused on like raising my siblings and getting myself through school to try to get on a free ride.
You're raising your siblings. What about your parents? I mean, I know you said you didn't come from a lot of money, but it wasn't easy to raise. You had to raise your
my parents split,
Oh,
and
okay.
my dad he owned a big construction company in Boston,
Yeah.
masonry company, and he hurt his back on a job. He ended up getting surgery and then got addicted to his back pain medication,
Ooh.
and that turned into other drugs, which turned into him stealing a prescription pad from the South Shore Hospital and ultimately becoming a huge drug lord.
Yeah, yeah.
And then went to prison for it.
Wow.
And then when I was a senior in college, he passed away.
I'm sorry.
And with all that happening, like,
Yeah.
my mom just became like an alcoholic and abusive. So there wouldn't be food or the house wouldn't be clean unless I did it.
I understand. Well, I just want to tell you, I know what you're telling me is pretty heavy. I get it, and I admire your stick-to-itiveness and your independent spirit, and under the circumstances, because I know that can't be easy.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that there's a lot of people out there that are in your corner, and understand that.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I never had anything like that in my life. So I'm speaking from. I can't speak from a standpoint that you are speaking from, but I totally can empathize with that just based on hearing this. But the fact that you're trying to keep a positive, upbeat attitude and turn your life into as a comedian on the stage is pretty incredible.
It starts somewhere. It's all the trauma.
Right. All right. Well, now that you've told me about that, what exactly was there? You were shy as a kid. So what exactly was there a specific event that changed that when you was like out of college after you left for UVM?
I think that
To get you that killed the shy bug, so to speak.
No, I think that I just always operated kind of like survival of the fittest.
Yeah, okay.
So I saw people who were successful. I saw people like what they were doing,
Yep.
the traits that they had that I didn't have, and I just spent my whole childhood, college, post-college, always trying to improve to have those traits and
Okay.
work on myself to not let the trauma that I had as a kid get in the way of that, because it would, and I was shy and I got bullied and there was so much stuff going around. Like my parents were in the front page of the newspaper
Wow.
all the time. There was a lot.
Yeah.
So in order for me to endure all of that, I had to gain self-confidence and know my worth. Otherwise I was just going to be torn apart by everyone.
Right.
Everyone was always telling me no. I always heard, no, you can't do this, or
Yeah,
you're not supposed to
yeah.
do that, or whatever it is. And so gaining confidence to tell people, no, you have a judgment of me based on my family or how I grew up, and I'm going to show you that that's not it. And it took a long time to get to that point where I was here I am.
You're still so young, too.
Yeah.
Right, wow. Okay, well, so now let's coagulate this with your material when you do your stand-up. I mean, what are you basing on?
Well, so my humor is very vulgar. It's very
Oh,
sexual.
yeah, okay, right.
Yeah,
we covered that already.
Yeah,
I
so it's
understand. Okay.
sexual, and
Yep.
I do talk about my parents a little bit. I just started to.
Yeah.
I think when I first got started, I just went the easy route, just to get used to being on stage.
Right.
And now I want to dive deep and tell my story in a comedic way, so that people can relate to it, learn from it, but also have a good time. So.
Of course.
I'm diving into that.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, if I went to a club and saw you get up on stage and heard you talk dirty, I'd be into it. I admit it. All right. Look.
People like it. I think I've made it my brand. I have the red hair and whatever.
You're a rebel. You're a rebel type. You got the rebellious look, but a sweet rebel, not I mean, you don't look like you're vicious. You don't look like
No, I'm not
right.
mean at all.
I mean, because some people, I mean, having been what you're through, you could have gone down a totally different path, and we wouldn't even be here right now.
Yeah, I think I have a very big heart, and I always
I'm
told
sure you do.
myself,
I know
like,
you do.
I envisioned this like life for me, and I was like, I want a family, I want kids, I want a husband, I want a good paying job, I want to be happy. And so if I let all of that stuff get to me and make me hard and cold, then I wouldn't have that. And I would just
Right.
be miserable. And I saw how my mom's own trauma and her childhood just made her this, like, and what happened with my dad, just like this miserable human.
Right.
And I wanted nothing to do with that. So I still always try to, like, treat people with kindness and love and light, because that's how you get through the dark.
Right,
You
you
know?
get through the dark, and I always say everything happens for a reason, and as awful as that stuff is, it's you're growing from it, and that's huge.
I am so grateful for
Yeah.
the experience. Like, I wouldn't take it back or change it, because it's helped me develop into, like, the woman that I am today.
Okay,
And so, yeah, I don't hold any, like, anger or resentment towards it, you know?
Okay. Well, all right. Now, have you ever done any other things in entertainment? Speaking of music and dancing, have you ever done any of that? Have you ever tried modeling at all?
I've done, like, photo shoots, like,
Okay.
modeling photo shoots. I've done, I did theater in high school.
Oh,
I was
good,
in a bunch
okay.
of different clubs and sports in college.
What'd you play? What sports?
Growing up, I played baseball till high school.
Cool.
I was a gymnast until high school. Like,
Why until what happened? Oh, really? Gymnastics? That's incredible.
yeah.
You just did.
Gymnastics is, like, sports are expensive, and so I couldn't afford. I had to quit because of my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, so I couldn't afford anything. But I did soccer in high school. I did, like, intramural sports, soccer, volleyball,
Cool.
like kickball, all that stuff in college. And what else have I done? I don't know. I do a lot of interviews. I'm always
well,
like
talk about
doing
the interviews. I mean,
entertainment.
this isn't your first one, I guess.
Yeah, I do like a lot of YouTube videos.
Okay. You mean like your material?
With what?
With your material, you mean?
No, like I'll do like comedy sketches or.
Well, that's what I mean. You on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have stuff on YouTube.
I personally have stuff on YouTube, yes, but I like will collaborate with other people too.
Okay. So basically, when you say collaborate, I mean, do you go with do you work with other comics like on stage and do comedy with them?
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, I'm doing a comedy sketch right now that should be coming out at the end of the month.
Okay.
With some comics, but most of the stuff I do is like people who are in comedy but aren't stand-up comics.
Right.
So people who just want to be funny and make people laugh and like enjoy making content. TikTok specifically, I'm like really big on TikTok. So I collab with like a lot of girls like all over the country.
Yep.
To do videos. So
Okay.
I'm
All
always
over the
in
country.
the
So you
spotlight.
basically you do a lot of work online then with people.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
My full job is online media.
Oh, it
everything.
is?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, so what? That's the job as a comedian online, or what is it?
Well, so my income comes from OnlyFans. So I monetize my following and I put them into
What's it called? OnlyFans?
OnlyFans, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's.
It's a platform that's also used for adult content, but they're trying to shift to different creators. So like athletes, like if you do cooking, if you're a dancer, or a DJ, or whatever you want to do that you want to monetize your audience, it's a way that they can pay.
Yeah.
It's like a private Instagram that they pay to get access to.
Okay.
And so I saw the opportunity when the pandemic was happening.
Yeah.
I was in sales. I was selling to small businesses. And no one was buying marketing. And so I was like, you know what? I'll try it. And I made more than my like 6-figure sales job.
Oh my
and
goodness.
so I quit my sales job and
So it's all.
I haven't
so
looked back since.
this is fans only. So basically, you're selling. You're selling like
Me.
Yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's, okay. Well, how do you? What content do you present yourself on this medium? I mean,
Sexual content. It's not
Okay.
like extreme or anything,
Oh, I
but it's like
understand.
stuff I like.
In other words,
I don't
you
really
get-
post bikini photos or things like that,
Okay.
or like dances. So I'll post that stuff on OnlyFans, or I'll talk about my day or like things that I don't share online. And so like you're getting to know me on a deeper level. Also
Okay.
like I can't answer all my DMs like on my platforms all the time and like keep up with my phone. And so here's like a way that people can pay to have access to like talk to me.
And
So,
I say it sounds like you do pretty well with it.
yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. It's almost like well, it's like it's like interacting with people that that are looking for some action of sorts. But obviously, it only goes as far as you're talking to people online,
Yeah.
right? Okay, that's cool. And listen, whatever works. I mean, it's fun.
I
It helps.
didn't want to get into it, and the first month I did it, the money I saw, I was like, well, I'm quitting my job.
Okay, that's well, look, it's working for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, but look, remember this too. If it gets to the point where you feel you'd rather take a different turn, take it. You know, I mean, keep your eyes open for every opportunity because there'll be a lot of them out there.
My goal is to take all that money within the next 2 years and get like 2 to 3 like rental properties.
Okay, you're gonna like rent them out to people?
Yeah.
Do you have
so
a realtor's
I wanna,
license, or are you gonna get one? Or try?
No, I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I have.
Okay.
The idea is like I'm just saving so that I can put down payments on like
Okay.
a 2-family or something like that, so that I have other assets and I'm not just relying on one income source. That's like something I learned with my childhood is people. Especially like in like 2008, like the housing
I remember
market
the recession of
crisis. Like
2008.
my family lost a lot, and
Yeah, everybody did.
when you put your eggs in one basket and you lose that,
You're
that's your
screwed.
income. And
know.
I need safety. I need security, and so my goal is to do rental units, Airbnbs, stocks, like a bunch of different things to diversify my income.
Okay.
So that if stuff happens, I'm still in a good place.
Do you have? Are you working with anyone like a consultant that's helping you with this? You're just doing it all by yourself.
I
Okay.
just like watch YouTube videos and watch other people and see what they do, and
Oh,
I
cool.
try to like
Wow.
duplicate it.
No, I know. I mean, Listen, I mean, a lot of people do very well with YouTube videos. A lot of YouTube videos go viral, and it sounds like yours are pretty close.
Not my YouTube, but my TikTok is
Well,
big.
TikTok.
Yeah.
And TikTok is huge now.
Yeah.
I mean, I have not seen a TikTok video that I haven't at least wanted to watch a little more of.
Yeah.
Usually people that. But as far as like emulating that it myself, I could never do that. I wouldn't know where to start.
You just talk.
You just talk, but
Yeah, you
but
pick a
but I
topic
noticed there's more than that. I mean, aren't there like special effects too that you
don't
can
have
add?
to use those though. Like some people just blow up from them
Okay.
in their PJs. Like they just woke up, so they're not like camera ready, and they just talk about their day or like
Really?
things that they're
Okay.
going through.
Yeah.
And I think TikTok is way different than Instagram because it shows like the vulnerable side. It shows like the real side that where
Okay.
Instagram is like pretty pictures and things like that. It's like the whole other side where you feel like you're talking to friends, especially during quarantine when people were home
Oh yeah,
alone.
of course.
That made people feel like there was a sense of community and that they weren't alone and got people through a lot of stuff.
Well, tell me something. Do you write a lot? Like, do you write your memoirs, anything like that, or have you ever? How about this? If you say you've done acting, you did acting in school. Have you ever acted in a film at all? And not just YouTube, like with your own stuff, but have you ever?
No,
as I
not
know a
yet.
lot of people. I've interviewed a lot of actors that have been done in films, that have been in films. I've interviewed filmmakers that have created films. Have you? And you've never done anything like that?
No, my goal is to ultimately do some sort of like comedy acting. Like I would love to be like on a comedy sitcom or something like that.
Right. Well,
This comedy sketch that I'm doing is more like a short. It's not really it's like a longer short video, but it's a lot of acting, and
Okay.
so that I'm excited about because
Okay.
it's like the first time I'm really doing it on camera. So
But you're talking about creating like a sitcom, and in order to do that, you need to get a lot of people in your like you got to line up a cast of people. You got to line up people that'll do your production for you.
well, I don't want to do any of that.
Well, I know
don't like
that, so that's what I'm
working.
saying.
So
You gotta-
I want to audition for things eventually.
Okay, well you certainly can. Have you ever? Do you know what Boston Casting is?
Yeah.
Are you Are you on their mailing list?
I
Of course, you're
I
moving
think
to Miami,
I am.
though.
Yeah. No, I used to do. My mom would always make me do like auditions and things growing up.
What,
My
for films?
For
for-
like commercials and stuff. So
Oh,
like
oh.
I've always been around that. And
Well,
so
did you ever land anything?
No.
You never did. Okay.
Well, I was shy. I was awkward. I didn't have
Well, I
like the
understand. Well,
confidence.
she was trying to help you lose the shy bug. I get
Yeah.
it. Okay. All right. Well, see, what I'm asking is, have you ever the idea of you starting a sitcom would? I mean, I'm thinking you would be the one who would write a script, and then you would have to find some people to be in it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do that.
Well, that's if you want to do a sitcom, that's the only way you're going to do it. You can't unless you want to be just if you can do it by yourself, that's fine. But it's pretty hard to have dialogue with just one on.
No, I don't want to make the sitcom or like be the one who like makes it. I just want to be like, hey, we have this comedy show idea. We're looking for people. Come audition.
Well, that's
like,
right.
That's what I want to
okay.
do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
got well. So you need to start rounding people up then.
Yeah.
Either here or when you get to Miami or wherever. So at some point, and start something. That sounds like that's the way to go. Do you have a lot of friends that are that have similar goals that you've talked to lately?
I think this year. Specifically in the past 3 months, I've been traveling for 2 months. I went to LA, Puerto Rico,
Oh, you have?
Miami with like a bunch of influencers, comics,
Okay.
people who are just trying to make it in entertainment in one way or another.
Right.
So I always wanted to do this, and I was kind of doing everything on my own. And then on these trips, I met so many people, and now those doors are starting to open. Now I'm networking
There you
and starting
go.
to have those conversations, and so I'm very excited what the next couple of years holds if I just continue on that.
Oh yeah, no, I
track.
can see that. So you travel. So what exactly did you do when you traveled to LA and Puerto Rico and wherever else?
So I got invited on an all expenses paid influencer trip to Puerto Rico.
Wow.
So all I had to do
What is an influencer trip?
basically I just had to get my my flight there, and I met a bunch of like random people who are doing TikTok,
Oh, okay.
or they are like musicians, or
Some people in entertainment.
yeah, I was
Okay.
with like Jake Paul's personal assistant.
Oh, wow.
He ended up hanging out with us one night, like, and then we just basically partied for 5 days and made content. We had a post that we were at the resort.
Wow.
And do specific stuff, and so it
Was
was like
it like you were on a boat cruise or something?
we were at the resort, like right
Okay.
on the beach
This is called Puerto Rico, right?
in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Wow.
And so that was awesome. And then from there, I went directly to Miami for 5 days. Shot some content for somebody else's TikTok. They needed like an extra girl actress,
Okay.
I guess. And then, so really content and networking. And then I went to LA for 8 days.
What'd you do there?
And I met a bunch of other girls who are like models, TikTokers, or OnlyFans creators. And we got this like mansion house. And the goal was just meet as many people as you can.
Wow.
And get on as many videos with other people so we can tag them.
Okay.
And just
Wow.
help them use each other's audiences.
There you go.
To
So
grow.
you're doing exactly what I suggested, and you're doing
Yeah.
it well. You've covered a lot of terrain.
Yeah.
But you didn't happen to meet Sarah Silverman out there, did you?
No, and I went, so that was like a month of traveling. And then I went back to Miami for 5 days for like Logan Paul's after party and all
Okay.
this like cool VIP stuff. But then I came home for 2 weeks, and then I got booked on a show in LA. And I
Wow.
was like, I've never done LA comedy. I'm scared. What do I do?
Well, how'd you do?
Well, so I went out and I saw that this guy on Instagram that I follow was at the same comedy club. So I messaged him. We've never talked before. And I was like, hey, how's the room? Like, is it a good club? Like,
Yeah.
what is the audience like? What kind of humor do they like? He's like, it's great. Let me I booked the Thursday show. Since you're coming, why don't you like try to get booked on some other shows? So he booked me on the Thursday show. And then I ended up getting booked on a couple other shows. I hit a bunch of mics. I met so many comics, went to the Comedy Store. And Thursday night, I was on the show with Jeff Ross, Tony Rock, Jessime Peluso, Brian Scalaro, Brian Moses.
Wow. So there's a lot of people.
A lot of big people on the show that I was on, which was amazing.
There you go. Wow. This is incredible.
So it was like, that was the first time I was like, oh, I'm in comedy. Like, this is what I want to do. So it's been a very busy, tiring 2 months, but it has been,
Now
my
you're here
world
with me talking
has had a
about it. That's
180.
even better. That pretty much encompasses everything.
Yeah.
Well, you know who Sarah Silverman is, right?
Yes, of course.
She's my cousin.
Yeah, you told me that.
I
That's
did.
awesome.
That's what I thought. Okay, I was wondering why. I thought, okay. Well, but you didn't meet her out there, right?
No, I didn't meet her.
Okay. You're funnier than she is anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you're what she thought she once was, I guess.
I think she's funny. I
Yeah,
like
she's
her
all
a
right.
lot.
She's okay. All right. Well, all right. So now that you've done all that, when you move, you're eventually going to move to Miami. You're saying around September 1st. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're going to be there permanently, or at least for a few years, correct?
Yeah, at least 2 years,
Okay.
I think.
All right.
And then potentially like go to LA and just really pursue comedy and acting.
So it sounds like you got your whole next several years outlined, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Now guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show.
Okay.
As I said, now as I mentioned at the beginning, what I want you to do is, now that we're down to the 5 minutes, you can look at all those people you just mentioned. You can say hi to them and give shouts out to anybody that you want real quick, and then we'll wrap the show up as we started it with my music.
Cool.
Okay, so go ahead.
Shout out to everyone who's helped me along my journey, to everyone I met. Shout out to Mark Stevens, who helped me with all the comedy stuff in LA. Appreciate you. Pink Fox, you're great. And shout out to my family, because you're the reason I do what I do.
Okay. Well, I hope you had fun with me.
Yeah, this is great.
All right. Well, the next thing I ask all my current guests to say, I always say upcoming when you're already here. is if you had fun with me, I know you're moving to Miami, but if you know anybody in the area, or even because I can do Zoom interviews. I've done 3 already this year.
Okay.
Give them my digits. I'll love to get them on as guests. Whether,
Absolutely.
Even from LA and Miami, Cucamonga, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, we can definitely chat about like who would be a good fit, and I can see who's like open or in the area.
Okay. Now, just before the one last thing, are there any projects on the horizon that you want to mention, or something that you got going on that you might overlook that you want to cover real quick?
I have a podcast called Two Girls, One Blunt, and it's basically a podcast where we talk about how to be a badass in all aspects of life.
Okay.
So it's like funny. We talk about weed. We talk about life and social media and like mental health and
Okay.
like all of that stuff. So we just booked a real studio for the first time.
Where?
Someone else is going to be taken care of in Boston.
Cool.
And
That's going to be before you leave, obviously.
yeah,
Right.
we're
okay.
going to come up here to record, but they'll be taking care of all the editing.
Okay.
And like the promotion, which was kind of, didn't have the time to do it.
Yep.
So now things are going to be going full throttle. So I'm really excited. So make sure to check that out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Well, Jamie, you did a great job with me.
Thank you.
And congratulations on everything. I see big things from you in the future.
Thank you.
Obviously, you've got your life going in the right direction, which is incredible.
I'm trying hard.
At your age, I didn't think I never thought I'd be even close to doing what I'm doing now. So I'm guessing by the time you reach my current age, you'll have reached the pinnacle that you never saw coming either. That's something I can give you. That's a little life lesson I can give you from speaking from experience. So
I'm excited.
take that to heart. Now on that note, we're going to wrap the show up.
Okay.
All right,
perfect.
folks. Thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.